Greetings, dear world. We're going to speak about today why finding your spiritual path shall benefit you. Good vibes transformation. Now, let's talk about what the term spirituality means. Everybody and their mom and their cat and the mosquito throw around that phrase spirituality. Now, let's break it down. The first part is spirit, having to do with the unseen. And the second part, wality, has to do with the rituals. So, spirituality means the rituals of one's spirit. That's all it means. The rituals of one's spirit. So when somebody says they're spiritual, what they're really saying is that they have certain rituals they do to upkeep their spirit. Now, everyone has a form of spirituality. It's just if they're aware of it or not. I'll give you an example. If we know that spirituality has to do with the ritual of spirit, and spirit happens to be the unseen thing, what are rituals you do of the unseen fashion? The rituals that you do of the unseen fashion, for example, I use myself, fasting. It's an unseen act where I don't eat and has a benefit within my vessel, even though it has an unseen origin. Or for example, meditation, closing my eyes and going inside, or prayer, or service, opening the door for grandma, serving the less fortunate. Now, once you can figure out what your spirituality is, what the ritual of your spirit is that you choose to do, you can then use that to your advantage to develop yourself. Let me explain what I mean. For me, my biggest ritual of spirit, my biggest spirituality is fasting. When I fast, when I don't put no food or no water into my vessel for a set amount of time, me goodness gracious, that's when things start to click. That's when downloads start to happen. That's when insights start to come clearer to me. That is my spirituality, my spiritual practice. Now, once I found the spiritual practice that works for me, I lean into it, and that can allow my transformation. Now, here's my thing. Imagine like this is a Marvel superhero movie, right? And everybody's practices can either bring them more to the light or more to the dark. For example, I'm gonna be so dark right now. I can take babies, kill them, and drink their blood for the sake of their essence. That's a spirit ritual, a spirituality. It may be kind of dark. Or I can say, every day, I'm going to use my words to cast spells on people to say, you're the best, you're great, you're handsome, you're efficient. Now, once you know what path you want to walk on, you can walk on the path of elevation by using your spirituality for upliftment, or you can be in the path for destruction, using your spirituality for destruction. I'm assuming those listening to me right now are on the path for light and elevation. Yes, we have a role for darkness, but our overarching theme here is light. So, let's recap so far. Once you find your spirituality and your spiritual practice, you can then use that to develop yourself and your transformation for the good vibes. When I meditate, I'm able to give myself tools to handle things that exist on this 3D plane. Although that act is an unseen act. Close my eyes, go into the space, controlling the breathing. Once you find your spirituality, once you find your spiritual practice, lean into it, one. Secondly, once you lean into it, allow that leaning into it to aid into your transformation. Now, let's go to the big thesis here. Once you then found your spirituality, you lean into it, and then from your leaning into it, you transform. This transformation is what you're seeking. This transformation is what you're seeking. Find that spirituality that works for you. The one that works for you, that connects you to the, whatever you want to call it, universe, source, cosmos, God, the first mover. Once you find that, hey, you'll be way ahead of the ways that you may believe. Respect.